And welcome. And if you're watching this live, good morning. Uh, as you're riding with the king on the Howard Eskin Show, a lot to talk about. And what we save Saturdays for is for you and me. And I see some people have already wanted to join the program, and I will get you on very, very quickly before we get to Marc Lawrence. The first thing I want to tell you is this show is presented by a terrific guy who knows his stuff, and that would be Stillwell Financial Advisors, and that would be Jeff Stillwell. Sharp guy. I'm telling you, things change. It's almost like they change every day with financially in this country. And if you want to be a step ahead or two steps ahead, Jeff Stillwell can help you. If nothing else, just give him a call and see if it works for you, and see if you want to help yourself for your future. Give Jeff a call, 732-343-0813. All right, things we're going to talk about today, and I I want to. The NBA is a joke. That wasn't going to be the first thing that I mentioned today. But the NBA is a joke. Not just a joke, but a friggin' joke. I don't like to use that word, but I don't want to use the other word, even though you can in this platform. It's a disgrace. All right, I'll get to that. But the Eagles have a tough game. Have a tough game. Whether you think, fans think the Eagles are going to win every game. You can't win every game. It's a fact of life. It's reality. And I want to discuss that with you. It's just they're just one of the tough teams in the NFC they'll face. And I know they lost last week. That was I don't know what happened to them. Green Bay being Green Bay. So we'll talk about that. Where do you think the Eagles stand with that game? Phillies right now are an interesting topic. We'll talk about them. The last show we had Ray Didinger, and we didn't just talk football because I know Ray will talk about a lot of things. We're going to talk. He talked about baseball, and a lot of people aren't really excited about this. But he said that he thinks the Phillies window for a World Series has passed. I'll get your opinions. I saw a lot of comments on social media, and we'll get your opinion on Ray's opinion. And the Phillies rolled out that they put Zach Wheeler on the 40-man roster, hoping people believe that he's going to be ready for the start of the season. Now, I have not talked to the doctors that worked with Zach Wheeler, but the doctors I talked to, and it's been a couple, that injury they don't believe that he can come back to start the season. Not that he's going to be back during the season. And will he be the same? We'll see. And that's another thing to talk about. Like I said, Marc Lawrence will join us. Flyers deserve a lot of credit, boy. They have a winning record. They're playing very good hockey. They're between the Sixers and the Flyers. You should ignore the Sixers, but the Flyers you shouldn't ignore. Flyers, it's early in the season, but the Flyers have a chance to make the playoffs. And who would have thought that before the season started? Even the Flyers didn't say that was their goal, because they just want to put the team together the right way. All right, before I get to you and to talk to you and get what your opinion is, I want to tell you about our other fine partners on this program, and one of which would be Audi Westchester. They got another great deal. Now, I've told you about the 3.99% for financing for up to 72 months. That 3.99% is now on the newly redesigned A5 and the A5 sedan. The A5 sedan, I've seen the A5 sedan when I've been over at Audi Westchester. It's really a cool looking car. Now there's another incentive that you got going, and they're going to double down on this. 1.99% financing for up to 72 months on the Q5 SUV. Only the Q5 SUV, which is a great vehicle. It's like you're paying almost no interest. 1.99% plus and I'm gonna add on to this. Get an extra $500 off the MSRP when you mention the code Claudio 500. Claudio's a very nice guy over there. 500, and you get $500 off the manufacturer's suggested retail price. Yeah, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, and they don't even know this, Audi Westchester. If in fact you get a vehicle from Audi Westchester in the next couple of weeks, I am going to gift you a Mike Schmidt autographed baseball. That's not even part of their advertising. I'm going to gift you that. If you get a vehicle from Audi Westchester in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to gift you that. They're located at 1421 Wilmington Pike. Don't wait. Have fun. Enjoy it. Check them out, AudiWestchester.com. Also, I want to tell you about Piazza Property Pros because the weather's getting cold, but there's still some time to get some things done by Piazza Property Pros, whether it's building a pool, whether it's pool maintenance, and in the off season is when you need to do some pool maintenance. 25 years of experience. They don't subcontract. Whether you want to build an in-ground pool, you want to do some excavation, hardscaping, fencing, landscaping, pool maintenance, whatever it is, Audi Westchester. Audi Westchester. I'm not Audi Westchester. Piazza Property Pros. I'm thinking about getting a car. No, I'm sorry, Piazza. You are very, very important, and you do a great job too. Piazza Property Pros. I'll give you the number 610-566-2608. 610-566-2608. Call for a free consultation. Not all consultations are free, or check them out at piazzaoutdoor.com. All right. So now I want to talk to you. You know what? Before let me take a call, and I want to talk about the NBA. Do we have somebody up there, Joe, that actually has their microphone operable? Who? Okay, let's go. Jeff can't get his. Jeff, I'm going to out you here. Can't get your microphone working. I saw somebody else up there. I don't know if his microphone's working or not. But let's go to George. George.
Saturday morning, King. How are you?
All right, you got a cup of coffee?
Of course, and you in the morning too. It helps every Saturday morning, brother.
I know.
Hey, I want to get to the Phillies. Forget the NBA. They don't play defense. It bores me. I can't.
Do you know last night, as we're talking about Friday night, every game was a double-digit win. One win was by 40 points, and the NBA's calling that the NBA Cup. It's the most asinine, ridiculous.
NBA Cup is ridiculous.
It's the stupidest.
It's stupid mid-season tournament. It's a joke. It's a joke. I refuse to watch it. I would never pay to go see it.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, but they color the floor differently for those games.
Oh, gee. I can paint a rainbow at home, Howard.
Adam Silver is an idiot. First of all, he's an intelligent guy, but when it comes to running the league, he's an idiot. He's a nice man, but he's an idiot. It's just NBA Cup, and Steph Curry takes the night off with general illness because they knew they were going to lose in Denver.
General illness. Give me a break.
I know.
Give me a break. I can't watch. You get paid how much to do what?
How can you watch the NBA anymore?
Hey, I'm going to ask you this. Wednesday, I posted this on the chat. They came out with lines for the World Series and winners in the National League and the American League for 2026. Phillies are third and second in the NL. Where do they get these numbers from? Do they see them signing people? And going into that, if you are the GM of the Phillies, put the luxury tax aside because they're a major market team and they're going to pay the penalty.
No, they're not. No. They're already paying. I think it's over $50 million in luxury tax now.
I'm making you the GM. And Bryce Harper says you can do whatever you want. Bryce said it's okay.
Well, that's
Howard.
Important, That's important.
Who are you signing on this team?
Well, I'm not trading Alec Boehm because he makes the best contact on the team, and
you keep saying that. And what about his? Are you okay with his attitude?
With who?
His attitude.
I don't care about his attitude. Okay, Players are,
Fair enough.
Hey, listen, all you got to do. Wait a minute, your attitude. Openly. that's why they're going to get rid of Castellanos. And if he's not getting along with the manager and he's going to be taken out for defense and complain about it, I understand. He's only got 1 year left, and I understand that. But Alec Boehm, I've said this before. If there's a man on third with less than 2 outs, the one person I want up at the plate in that situation is Alec Boehm.
Okay.
And they don't drive in runs from third with less than 2 outs. They don't drive in runs men in scoring position with less than 2 outs.
So you start the team with Alec Boehm. So who?
I don't know if you sign him. I don't know if you sign him, but I know one thing: I wouldn't trade him. He's got 1 year left.
Who would you sign, including free agents? If you're the GM and this is your
well,
game.
you got to sign Stott, right? I don't sign Realmuto. I do not sign him. I'm kind of up in the air on Bader, but I would sign Pete Alonso and move Harper to right field. But I know that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Harper really doesn't want to go back to right field, and obviously they're going to do what Harper wants to do. So it's a tough call. And outside of that, you're not going to sign Suarez. I understand he's going to get too much money.
He's going to the Mets, I'm hearing.
Well,
they're going after him. I mean, I listen to some
wherever he goes, he's not coming here.
Right.
So that's about it. I'm not locked down to other people. I'm not locked down. And who do you trade? I don't, as I said, I don't trade Boehm. And Castellanos, although he puts up better than average numbers, which not everybody does that, they're not going to get anything for him. So I don't know what the sense is. I mean, they might just move on from him. Who knows? But other than that, I think they're locked in. I mean, they're locked. I would trade Brandon March. What are you going to get? A cup of coffee for him?
My coffee in my hand.
I know. You know what? I don't know if the cream would be extra if you traded Brandon March. You'd have to pay extra for the cream.
So you basically it sounds like if I'm reading it between the lines with you, and I do that sometimes, you think they're going to sign Schwarber.
I think they need to sign Schwarber. No, I'm at best 50-50 with that because he's going to get a great offer, and I don't think there'll ever be a salary cap, although they're going to try to, the baseball's going to try to do that. But you got to think about that in the back of your mind. But there'll be some parameters to allow teams that may be over to get out of it. So I don't know how they can do that. I think they have to sign Schwarber. He's the most productive player on the team.
Okay.
But if you don't sign Alonso, who's going to hit you 30-some home runs?
I want Alonso. I mean, I know I talked to you about Tucker and other people.
Well, who would you rather have, Alonso or Schwarber? Oh, that's a tough call.
You're talking to a guy that's a leader in the locker room with Schwarber.
Yeah.
And the rumors in New York is that Alonso isn't a leader in the locker room. And I'm a fan of Pete Alonso.
Well, but the Phillies don't have a leader in the locker room without Schwarber.
You're right, and that's huge. So
I think you have to sign
Schwarber.
Well, if you're not going to sign Alonso, then you have to sign Schwarber.
You're right.
I mean, Kyle Tucker. I don't know about Kyle Tucker. It's just for what he's going to cost.
What about here's the big internet sensation this week: Nolan Arenado. A lot of the baseball guys thinking.
Yeah, he's kind of at the end of his career. Terrific player, but not as good as he used to be. But very good player. I don't know what you're going to have to give for him, and I don't know if the Phillies could. Would you rather have Arenado at third base than Boehm? But then you're going to have to sign him. So what sense does that make?
You're right. You're right.
I thought the Phillies aren't one player away from a World Series. They're multiple players away from a World Series. All right, quick question, and I'm going to move on. The Eagles on Monday night. I know you think they're going to win, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as everybody thinks.
No, you better not say that I think they're going to win. And there's a factor here that I don't think they're going to win. And it does come into play. And Green Bay played last week like the Eagles did when they went up to New York. And Green Bay's not going to lose twice at home. And Green Bay is good. It's an important game. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think the Eagles are going to lose. I think they're going to lose this game. And It just factors there that Green Bay losing last week to the Panthers at home. They're not losing twice at home. They're not.
I don't think so either. So yeah, I don't think so either. It just, and it's going to be a really close game, but Green Bay's desperate. Desperate
Correct.
teams do desperate things. If they lose, I don't think there's any chance they win that division.
You just said it right there. The other factor, desperate
Yep.
teams do desperate things. You're exactly right. And that's
Yep.
why I think
So,
they're gonna win.
all right. Hey, George, have a great weekend.
See ya. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks for jumping in. Yeah, I think it's going to be a really tough game. Joe, I see, I know Marc Lawrence is ready, but do we have somebody else before we get to Marc Lawrence that's ready? I thought Arlani, yeah, he seems like, I think he's a new caller to the show. Let's see if we can get him on. Arlani, yeah, let's try and let's see if that works. He doesn't have audio. Oh, okay. He chickened out. See, I was going to put him on. That's all right. All right. So let's before I get, you know what? I'll talk about it when I have Marc Lawrence on. Let's let's have Marc Lawrence come on. The NBA, such a treat last night. Mark, thanks for joining. Thanks for
Hey, Howard, how are you doing?
Good. I don't know if you looked at the NBA scores last night. What a treat. What a treat, by the way. It's called the NBA Cup, and every game was decided by double digits. Every game. One game, team won by 40. Won by 40. This is the NBA. It's not a college team playing Division I playing a Division III team. It's the NBA. The NBA Cup, which is the biggest joke and farce. They color the courts. Isn't that just wonderful? That looks so nice. It looks so nice.
Sounds like the NFL 2 weeks ago. Every big favorite won and covered. It sounds like, yeah.
Well, and how about this? Steph Curry did not play because they were going to lose in Denver anyway, I guess they thought. Did not play because of general illness. That's a new one. General illness. He did not play. And they what did they lose by last night? Let me see. What did they lose by? Well, I can't. Oh, here it is. They lost by 25. Okay. So we have one game. Cleveland beat Washington 148-114. How do you score 148 points? And then let me see. All these games are double digits. Minnesota beat Utah by 40, 137-97. Oklahoma City won by 31, beating Sacramento. This is the NBA. This is a joke. This is an absolute joke. I don't know why anybody watches an NBA game. Mark, I don't know how you pick an NBA game. I wouldn't even waste my time.
Howard, I can't tell you the last time I watched an NBA basketball game. I can't tell you. I mean, the playoffs get here maybe, but regular season, no way. And I was an avid Cleveland Cavaliers season ticket holder. I had like Jack Nicholson seats for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And then LeBron James came along, and those seats went from 250 a seat to 2,500 a seat. And that's when I got out.
You know what? And the prices, that's another thing. We haven't even gotten to that part of it. The prices in the NBA are a complete joke. Complete joke. Like, why would you pay, $350 or $400 for a ticket at the Sixers? By the way, the front row seats I think are $3,000 a piece now.
Wow.
$3,000 a piece. I mean, it's just certain front row seats. All right, enough of that. Because why even waste our time? All right, let's take a look at the football this weekend. First up, college. Who do you like?
Well, it's a pretty good looking college card, as it should be, Howard. This time of the year, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. And we got some good matchup of good teams playing good teams. But I'm going to go another direction here. I'm going to look at a better handicapping edge. And that's going to be fading these favorites that are what I call leaking oil, where they're playing poorly. They've been out-yarded in 3 or more games in a row, and yet they're favored in their football games. And you find leaking oil favorites to really struggle late in the season because they flat out just don't care. The first team we're going to look at here is Kentucky. We're going to take 3.5 against Florida. The Florida Gators, a football team, obviously struggling. They're just 1-7 to the spread in the series, the last 8 games they played. And they've lost the stats 3 straight games in a row,
Hmm.
coming off the big Georgia football game. I don't see this team getting up for Kentucky today. I like the Wildcats here.
You know what? And that game is where? That's it in at
At
Kentucky or Florida?
Kentucky.
At Kentucky.
Plus
So
3.
they're getting points at home, which
Yeah.
is not a bad thing. All
No.
right. Who else? Who else do you like?
The other guy, we're going to go over the Mountain West Conference and look at Colorado State taking 4.5 against UNLV. And this is largely a big play against UNLV, who was making some noise, but now all of a sudden they have 4 flat tires. They've been out, they've been out yarded each of the last 4 games in a row. They're by 603 total yards. They're completely gone bald here, has UNLV. And you've got a Florida or Colorado State defense here that's got 65 yards the better defense, and yet they're taking 4.5 against UNLV, who's being priced a lot on name and reputation for what they've done the last 2 years, but not what they're doing now. Colorado State plus 4.5.
Yeah, it's and they're at home too, getting
Yes,
points
they
at
are.
home.
Right.
Yeah, they're getting points at home. All right, another team getting points at home, and it's so hard to go against Indiana. Indiana might be the best team in the country. It's obviously be either Ohio State or Indiana. I mean, they just every time you think they're going to kind of step off the pedal a little bit, they just go right through it. But are you ready to take Penn State with the 14 and a half?
I'm ready to take Penn State with the 14.5. Yes. You've got an Indiana football team here that is really, as you said, as good as anybody in the country and maybe arguably better than Ohio State. We don't know. We'll know that when the Big Ten championship game gets here. But you've got also here a situation for Penn State that is rather unique in that they're at home and they don't lose home games by double-digit margin losses too very often. You got Indiana's coming in here right now, and this is incredible, Howard. Every game Indiana has played, the points they've allowed have been season low totals for the opponents. So this defense is clicking for Indiana, but they're also a football team that is undefeated on the road at this time of the year, and that's what I call the noose getting tighter and tighter. I think it gets a little bit too tight for Indiana here, and I think Penn State steps up and wipes a little bit of that ugliness off their face here and at least gets the money.
You know what? You made a point that they're going to play, and they're most likely to play in the conference championship.
Yeah.
That conference probably now is the best in the country, although not from top to bottom like the SEC would be, but there's still a really good conference. But if they play in the conference championship game, that takes away if they're going to play for the next, because whoever loses is still going to probably be the second seed, has to be the second seed if they lose to the other team in the playoff. So why it takes away from the
Takes the
national
luster away.
championship? Yeah,
Right. Exactly.
I,
It does.
I don't know how you deal with that.
They're going to eventually get to the point, Howard, where they're going to have to make a decision. What's more important, the college football playoff or the conference championship games? Because if they had their choice, they wouldn't have college championship games. They'd just be playing for all the marbles in the college football playoff. The problem is the playoffs aren't large enough to do that, and not enough participating teams. So you got the ugliness, like you said, about the number 1 and number 2 teams. And the number 2, the team that loses could also get penalized. And I'm not talking here Indiana or Ohio State. I'm talking other conferences. They could play a championship game, lose, and not even make the college football playoffs because that loss dropped them out of the college football playoff contention.
Well, if you're playing to get in, I understand that. But if there's a good chance that you'll play each other for the national championship if you're the 2 best teams. That it's just ridiculous. But the reason they won't eliminate the conference championships, it's called money.
Yes,
It's all those games for TV, just an extra game, just pile on more games. They'll get to 20 games at some point. They're playing almost every day of the week now. It put garbage games on TV. Hey, Mark, I'm going to mention something, and this is the scam that is the NCAA, and I want to ask you about some other games. Last night, being Friday night, as we're doing this show live, USC played Northwestern.
Right.
Do you know one of those plays was a fake punt? Do you know that the guy that the player that dropped back for the punt was not the punter? was a backup quarterback, and he changed his number that day with the punter.
Oh wow.
How can you change your number like the day of the game? So they put out a roster, and the other team's not going to check that. So it looks like the punter's back there, but it's not the punter. It's a backup quarterback. How about that? The NFL has a rule against changing numbers. You have to put in, I think, a year in advance. But nonetheless, can you believe
Southern Cal did that? Southern Cal?
Yes, Southern Cal had a backup quarterback as the punter, and he changed his number to the punter's number, and the punter had his number for the game.
Oh my goodness. That's like the difference between deciding whether it's first degree murder or second degree murder.
Yeah, right. And they kill. I don't know if it was a close game at the time, because at one point it was a touchdown game. They won by like 21 or whatever.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, you can't do that. You can't do that. The NCAA has got to. There's got to be some kind of penalty.
Oh, they have to be called out for that. That's absolutely ridiculous.
I know. How about that? Isn't that beautiful? All right. It's just unbelievable. All right. Now, are there teams that either are in a look-ahead situation? And you mentioned one of the games that you mentioned is coming off a big game. I guess Florida was coming off a big game. Is there teams in either one of those situations that you might think of going against?
I think look-aheads could possibly be Georgia has got Texas up on deck next week, and that's going to have a lot of implications for the college football playoff. And they got Mississippi State in here, wedged between Florida and Texas.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a good spot for Georgia. And Mississippi State has played some pretty good football here right now. I think it's a nice spot for Georgia and the dog and the points in that game. The other might be also TCU. They've got BYU up next week. And BYU, obviously the undefeated team, the kingpin right now to win the Big 12 championship. They've got Iowa State here, and this is an Iowa State football team that has got beat straight up in 3 games in a row, all as favorites. You can rest assured Matt Campbell will not let this continue to keep going on with Iowa State here. I think it's a bad spot for TCU this week, looking ahead to BYU.
You know what? And how the mighty have fallen. Colorado, West Virginia is like an ordinary team. Is what are they? A 6.5 point underdog. Colorado's a 6.5 point underdog at West Virginia. Colorado must really stink.
Howard, they're getting obliterated. Colorado is, and not even close in football games. They've allowed over 50 in their last 2 losses. They've lost the yards 5 straight games in a row. Worse every football game. There's disintegration going on at Colorado here, and I don't know if it's. I know Deion Sanders has got health issues, and I don't know whether the football program is not working and focusing like they should be. But they're definitely a play against Team Colorado going out. They don't even seem to appear to care when they take the field these days.
All right, 6 wins makes you bowl eligible, which you can be 6-6 and get in a bowl, which is ridiculous anyway. But are there teams in a situation that may have to be desperate to try in some way to get the 6 wins this season to be bowl eligible?
Well, there's going to be a good amount of 6-win games or 5-win teams today that are looking to become 6-win teams. I think personally the question is a little bit more relevant next week when we get to where they have 1 or 2 games left, and all of a sudden they suddenly have to get there. You've got like Auburn's got 4 wins. Okay, Auburn has a chance to make a bowl if they win 2 more games. They've got coming up next Vanderbilt and Alabama, so they've got to win their football game against Alabama or against Vanderbilt here today. That's a football team that might be on the list. But next week is when it gets down to the nitty gritty, when you keep looking at these teams that have 5 wins and need that 6th win to get bowl eligible. And I'll have a list for you next week that'll probably be about 10 or 12 teams deep.
Vanderbilt's a good team this year, but it sounds like you like Auburn with the 6.5 a little bit against Vanderbilt.
I do. I think Auburn goes out and wins one for the Gipper. They just fired Hugh Freeze, said to be a very likable guy. Coming in here now with some incentive to play to become bowl eligible here. And I think Vanderbilt is going to go on a little bit of a slide here, Howard. They've been on top of the mountain here for a good year so far here. And I think they're beginning to unravel a little bit. The tougher that they go, the tougher the competition is. I wouldn't be surprised if Auburn pulls the rug out on Vanderbilt.
All right, one more game kind of out of the box because it's a big number. Navy for years used to play Notre Dame really, really tough. It really used to be a tough game for Notre Dame. Navy's not a bad team this year. And I'm wondering with the, what's it, like 27 and a half?
Yes.
Do you like Navy? I mean, like Navy at all?
Well, let me put it to you like this, Howard. If I were uh, at my last few days in this earth, and somebody said to me, "Well, before you leave, impart something on me that I could take forward with me to make a living betting college football games," my answer would be, you play on any military underdog of 20 or more points. Military teams getting 20 or more. They don't quit. They try. Those teams, Howard, are 43-20 against the point spread on the blind. That's what you've got here with Navy taking the 27.5 against Notre Dame.
Wow.
They will come and they will play. And they just had their bubble burst last week, not as a favorite. That's why I'm not going to rail against them that way. But a military dog taking 20 or more points in automatic play.
That's interesting. That's a big 43-20 is
Yeah, that's pretty
a
strong.
pretty big edge. Yeah, it is pretty strong. All right, let's take a look at the NFL now. Who do you like?
Again, I'm going to go to the leaking oil USS Valdez. I'm going to fade two NFL favorites leaking oil right now. And I think these teams that are leaking oil are going to go down straight up. The first, what are the Cleveland Browns doing favored against the New York Jets? Come on, man. I
Well,
mean,
the Jets just gave away their whole team. They
well,
just
I
traded their whole
get
team.
that. But you're still talking about asking the Cleveland Browns to win a road game. They've lost 12 straight road games in a row. I don't think the Browns could beat themselves if they played themselves this week, let alone having to lay points in a situation like this. I've got to play. And the Browns have also lost the yard 6 straight games in a row. I don't know where they're going to suddenly come up with a good football game here. I think the Jets might be a little bit invigorated because their future might look a little bit rosier here right now than it did before the trade deadline. But the Browns should not be favored. Give me the New York Jets plus the points.
All right, who else do you like?
The other guy, I'm going to play New England and take 2.5 against Tampa Bay. And the Bucks needed their bye week like a vampire needs blood. They were really gasping for breath coming down the stretch, playing well but running out of fuel. They had lost the yardage each of the previous 4 football games in a row Tampa Bay had. And you've got a New England football team here. We know how well they played here so far. They're also taking a look here. They played 6 one-score games, has New England. That means they're in every football game they play, Howard. Whether they win it, whether they lose it, they're in football games. I have to play New England plus the points against Tampa until Tampa proves otherwise.
You're not worried about New England kind of waking up to reality? They played really well. I don't know that they're that as good a team as the record shows.
Well, in this matchup, the card I will play is that they do have the better offense and they do have the better defense, offensively and defensively, statistically. So you're bringing a dog with a better offense and a better defense into a situation like this. I have to play that card.
All right, I'm going to. This is what's amazing. How could Carolina be favored by 5.5 against anybody? Yet they're favored. I know New Orleans is terrible right now. How could they be favored by 5.5?
Well, we just discussed this. How could Cleveland be favored? So too, how could Carolina be favored? Sometimes the Peter Principle role kicks in for college and NFL football teams. You rise to the level of incompetence. Carolina's played some pretty good football, but they're an incompetent football team, and they should not be laying points until they prove otherwise. I don't care who they're playing. They shouldn't be laying points, especially 5.5, well over a field goal here. You have to fade the Panthers until they prove different.
All right. Detroit, and I think I noticed the line dropped 2 points. It went from 9.5 to, I see this morning, a 7.5 against Washington. Is there a reason for that?
I think what happened here, Howard, is this. I think when that line opened, the odds makers anticipated 2 things. Number one, Detroit's going to play with playoff season loss revenge last year. They got knocked out of the playoffs last year by Washington. And number 2, Detroit off a loss where Dan Campbell has been absolute murder, best in the National Football League in games off a loss. So you put those 2 together, they figure everybody is going to look at this game and come to Detroit. And they open this game. This game should have opened like 6.5, maybe 7. And it was 9.5. Are you kidding me? So what you have is a dead number between 7 and 10. Those are dead numbers. 8 and 9, and it was a dead number at 9.5. So it's come back down here now to where it should be at 7.5.
Would you like Detroit in that game?
Well, I would, yes. I don't. Well, what I'll say this: I would not want to step in front of Detroit in that game for those two reasons. It's not the kind of a play I make, but I certainly don't want any Washington right now. This team is banged up and battered right now.
I think at one point we pointed out that the Pittsburgh Steelers are a fraud,
Oh.
yet they won last week. They won last week, a game they had to win. The Chargers are kind of are they good? Are they okay? That's the Sunday night game. Do you like a side in that game?
Pittsburgh beat Indianapolis last week, Howard, and lost the yardage by 156 yards.
Wow.
Yeah, 156 yards. You don't continue to keep playing football like that. They've only been out-yarded one team so far this football season here. You're not going to go out and play the Chargers and know going into the game that the Chargers are going to out-yard you and you think you're going to come away not only with the win but the money. I don't think so. I think this is a nice, cheap price for the Chargers because Pittsburgh, on the surface, looks like a good football team, but they're not.
The Rams, I think is that a revenge game for the Rams?
Yes, it is. Yes.
But you don't want to lay 4.5, but you can't go against the Rams losing twice to San Francisco, can you?
Well, here's why I can and I will. I'm going to play San Francisco this week, and the Rams are replacing not only their place kicker, they're replacing their long snapper as well. So the guy who centers the ball on extra points and field goals, he's new and he's being replaced. So you got both the kicker and the snapper both out for the Rams in this football game. That's not what you want in a football game against a good football team like San Francisco here. And the bottom line here is Kyle Shanahan simply wins football games here. He's a home underdog. I thought the price was ridiculous. I thought this game should have been pick'em, but they're packing the revenge in there for the Rams. Give me San Francisco.
I'm surprised it took them this long to replace the kicker. He lost the game against the Eagles.
Yes.
The Eagles got, and that's when Jordan Davis ran the ball back for a touchdown or whatever. But that kick was a low kick. You could see when you see the end zone shot, it was a low kick. And that's what lost the game for the Rams there. All right, let's take a look at the Eagles. It's a tough game.
It's a real tough game, and the caller who was on before me made a great point about the Green Bay Packers. They're at home off a home loss, and it's a role that they don't regularly lose twice in a row in. You go back and you look the last 11 times they played here, they've won 8 times coming back. I'm talking to the spread. So it's a nice bounce back role for the Green Bay Packers in that sense. They also have the revenge from the Eagles taking them out of the playoffs last year. So a couple of really good handicapping factors come to the Eagles. The thing that I don't like, though, however, is as long as Philadelphia is the underdog, you don't bet against Super Bowl champions as underdogs the following year because they are like gold. And if the Eagles are taking points in this football game, I could only play the points in the football contest here. And I also think Green Bay is a little bit of a fraud. They've only won the money once in their last 7 football games. So that means they're underachieving by what Vegas considers them to be. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles plus the points as long as they're the dog.
Well, I can guarantee one thing this week. The Dallas Cowboys will not lose this week. They stink. They just flat out stink. It's such a brutal team. And he makes all those trades for what? What, for window dressing?
No, that's just a safe face is all that is, Howard. Just,
it's a joke.
The ugliness of the whole season, he had to just kind of put a Band-Aid on it, at least for public relations purposes. That's all that is.
Oh, my gosh. It's brutal. Yeah. All right. If people have interest in your services, 800-321-7777. And on the internet, playbooksports.com. Mark, I want you to notice that these doggies on my sweatshirt,
yes.
Unfortunately, I've lost all 5 of them. But to memorize my doggies, I put those are the actual dogs.
And which one's Lila?
Which one's the what? Lila is the one in the middle there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Okay. All right. Have a great week. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, Howard. Be well. Enjoy the games. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. The Cowboys won't lose this week. I can guarantee it. The Cowboys will not lose this week. They stink. They stink. They stink. All right. Before we get back to, there's a moron on the line. Before we get back to him, I want to let you know about the winner from the last show, who won a pair of Oakley sunglasses. And James Hess, congratulations. You're the lucky winner of a pair of Oakley sunglasses. And you answered the question correctly among multiple people. Ray Didinger pointed out what he thought would be the toughest team if the Eagles played him in the playoffs, and he said the Rams. You, among other people, had the correct answer, so we select the person at random. And thanks, James, for being a part of the show, and congratulations on winning the pair of Oakley sunglasses. Also, today we're going to have a winner, a question. A question, and you will win a gift certificate from Chickies and Pete's. We will announce the winner Tuesday, or not Wednesday, on our show. You have to have it in by midnight on Tuesday, November 11th. The show on Wednesday on X, Twitter, whatever, Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. And subscribe to any one of them, or subscribe to YouTube, and you'll be notified when the show comes on. And we will select a winner at random if you all have the correct answer, and I'll give you the show, or I'll give you the question coming up to win. You just have some food on me. Why not have some food on me? You know what? I also want to thank our presenting sponsor, Jeff Stillwell Financial Advisors. It's you want to do something to try to help your future financially. Jeff Stillwell is the guy. He works with a lot of people. He's helped a lot of people, and he can help you. His number 732-343-0813. I'll come up with a question for to try to win. I have a friend that thinks Indiana obviously is going to kill Penn State, not what Marc Lawrence thinks. Indiana is a tough team. They are really a tough team to go against, a really tough team to go against. So, whatever. All right. Let's, I tell you, it's, I pointed out how the NBA is a joke. How about what USC did? They changed the number of the punter and the backup quarterback, and he went back for a punt, and he wasn't even the punter. And he threw a pass, and they got a first down. That's just not right. You changed it the day, I guess the day or the week of the game, whatever it was. He changed the number. You can't, to the punter's number. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. The NCAA is such a phony baloney. Before I get to, I'm going to make him wait a little bit. Before I get to our next caller, and anybody else that wants to jump in, the link is on the chat line, and you can. Oh, yes, I see Dale likes the Eagles. It's a no-brainer. Well, I don't know if it's a no-brainer. How about Packers are home dogs. I don't know. Does a point or point and a half make a difference for a home dog? I see some of the people. I'm not a San Francisco fan. I see Art AXXX1 or whatever. Shanahan is overrated. I think he's a good coach, but I don't think he's you. I think you're probably right. I think you're probably right. And the reason that Pittsburgh won last week, they got 6 turnovers. I see. It's just never trust in the Jets. I wouldn't either. But whatever. I want to tell you about Addie Westchester before I get to my next caller, because they got a great deal, another great deal, and I'm going to add to the deal. Okay, you got the 3.99% financing up to 72 months on these 2 models now for November. This is for November. The A5, it's redesigned A5, the A5 sedan, and I saw that. That was a really cool looking vehicle. If you stop out to Audi Westchester, you'll see what I'm talking about. And added this month, it's like you're paying no interest 1.99% financing up to 72 months on the Q5 SUV. Only the Q5 SUV, which is a really great vehicle. I got a Q5 SUV. It's really a great vehicle. And 1.99, I didn't even get 1.99% financing. Plus, get an extra $500 off the MSRP when you mention the code Claudio 500. Do that. And I'm adding to that. I mentioned it earlier in the show. For the next 2 weeks, if you get a vehicle from Audi Westchester, I mentioned you get the $500 off the MSRP. I'll give you a Mike Schmidt autographed baseball, not a basketball, baseball, if you do that. So just giving you a little added incentive to just go out and have some fun and get a vehicle, get a car, and have some fun, get a cup of coffee and grab some snacks. All right. I'm going to get to, let's get to Cowboy Moron or Cowboy Jim. It's just, you wear that. Hey, what happened with Dallas last week?
You just crack yourself up, don't you? You do.
No, I don't.
You're like a comedian. Don't lose your day job.
Hey, can I ask
crack
you,
yourself up?
Can I ask you what happened to your Cowboys last week?
3 turnovers. Yeah, it was rough. It was a rough week. Okay, so don't sit there.
What do you mean it's a rough week? It's a rough season. What do you mean a rough week? It's a rough season.
Dak Prescott goes from being an MVP candidate, and then you get CeeDee Lamb back, and things are falling apart. So I don't understand. I don't get it. And Mark,
they stink.
Yeah.
How about the fact that they stink? Let me see. Who do they play next? Who are they going to lose to next week?
They play the Raiders. They play the.
You think they might? That's the Monday night game.
That's
the Monday night game. It's Dallas at the Raiders. What a joke of a game. That's the Monday night game.
Can we talk about a joke of a game? Can we talk about that last Thursday night game with Denver and the Vegas Raiders?
Bad. That was
10-7.
Denver finds a way to win, but boy, by the way, you owe me $300. It's going to go to charity, but you owe me $300.
Yeah, yes, I know. Next time I see you, don't worry about it. And if you're going to,
I may make a special point to come see you, just to get that 300 cash, and then I'll give it to the
time and the place.
Valley. Yeah,
you just name the time and the place. And listen, if you're gonna have Marc Lawrence on spewing his nonsense, then you need to have a 2-hour show. I mean, come on. He starts off talking about the Mountain Division. Who cares about the Mountain Division?
Hold it, nitwit. Let me just tell you something. People don't care who they bet. You think people, when they bet a team, even the pros, they don't even know everything about it. When they bet a team, they don't know anything about them. But they bet the game because they want to bet. I see betting a game, I'm okay with. Prop bets, I think, are a complete joke. And it's an embarrassment. And it's a problem. It's a problem. Prop bets are a problem. But betting a game, you don't have to know the team. You just bet the game because if they win, who cares what conference they're from?
Okay, in Indiana,
so you don't have a clue.
Yeah, but no, you're talking to a bunch of Philly fans. Okay, they don't care about the Mountain Division, and then Indiana's going to win by 3 or 4 touchdowns over Penn State. Okay, Auburn stinks. I don't know what he's talking about there. And the Browns did beat the Packers. So where does he come off with I can't think the Browns are ever going to win a game, or they're not going to beat the Jets?
I think they've lost 12 in a row on the road, something like 12 in a row on the road.
The Packers are favored against the Eagles. So how does
by a point and a half?
But how? Why?
They're favored because they're at home.
And you didn't answer.
They're still a good team.
You didn't answer a question. Why do you want Pete Alonso? Why?
Because he helps the lineup. The lineup, and you help the outfield because you put Harper back, and he's not going to go there, but you put Harper back in the outfield. So you'd help your outfield. And then Pete Alonso just adds something to the lineup. They don't have enough. And if they don't sign Schwarber, then they've lost all their home run punch because Harper's not a home run hitter anymore. Trey Turner, 20 to 20 some home runs is not home run hitters. So you don't have home, and they live on the home run. So Pete Alonso would add to the lineup. They're going to have to add somebody, and I don't know because I don't know if they're going to be able to sign Schwarber.
All they want to do is fill the seats. Just get these these big names out there to fill the seats. Citizens Bank Park. Come
Well, they're
on,
not
it's
going
just
to. You know what? Pete Alonso's not going to sell the seats. They're going to sell it because there's the Phillies, because they're going to build up. Harper's going to come back with a better year. It's just they're trying to tell people that Zach Wheeler will be back at the beginning of the season. He's going to be back. He's going to be back, but I don't know that he's going to be back at the beginning of the season.
It's going to be the same lineup, the same drivel, the same playoffs, and nothing's going to happen. So I enjoy watching the Philly fans.
So how many games? Just to rub it in a little bit, how many games do you think your Cowboys they suck? By the way, suck is spelled S-U-C-K.
Listen.
How many games? How many games are they going to win this year?
You're going to want to bet again, and I ain't betting you anymore.
Okay.
So we're done with $300, and that's it.
Well,
we're
wait a
done.
minute. Didn't you make me a bet that they were going to win the division this year?
That's why I'm saying I'm going to owe you $300.
Oh,
I owe you 100 from before, and then we bet on them winning the division.
Oh, I thought you already owed me that money.
And then the under $100 from last week. I don't even remember what that was about. But
oh, okay. Your partner in crime, Captain Cowboy, has so bailed out on the Cowboys, he won't even get involved in the show anymore because he knows I'll brutalize him and destroy him. Hey, listen, the Cowboys it's just a joke.
30 years, Howard. 30 years. This is just I'll stay with them to the end, but it's rough. It's really rough.
It sure is. It sure is rough. All right. Well, you have a great weekend.
Enjoy you too.
Green Bay.
I'm going to enjoy Green Bay. I will. I'm going to enjoy the Packers winning. I'm going to have a good time.
Well, that's not. It's going to be a tough game. It's really going to be a tough game. By the way, just to let you know, I have somebody who is listening from Ireland. So that'll make you happy.
Wow, that's fascinating. That's amazing. Yeah,
that's all right.
Do you think they know how to work this stuff? Because most of your callers don't know how to work this stuff.
I'll bet you he's rooting against the Cowboys. But you don't even have to root against the Cowboys.
It's America's team. Come on, it's the world team. Everybody
not
loves
anymore.
The Cowboys.
Not anymore.
Well,
not anymore.
Good luck. All right. Well, good luck to you.
Beat it.
Bye. Bye, loser.
What a dope. What a dope. What a dope. The Cowboys have 3 wins right now. Will they win 3 more games this season? I tell you, well, they play the Eagles. It's not in the too distant future. I think sometime in November. Sometime in November. Somebody's listening from Fishtown. That's not the same as Ireland. All right. Okay, Pat. Let me see. Is this the 23rd of November? Okay, that's at Dallas. That's the weekend before Thanksgiving. It's a 4:30 game. It would be a total embarrassment. And the Eagles are coming off. Wow, they're coming off a tough game too. Wow, that's happening pretty soon. Yeah, they're coming off a tough game. Yeah. Wow, they're coming off a tough game. And then they have what they like to call as that's a Sunday night game. The Detroit game's Sunday night. So they play on Sunday night, and then they got to play the Packers the following weekend. All right. Not the Packers. They got to play the Cowboys. Boy, if they it would be an embarrassment. But the Cowboys can't win any more than 3 games this year if they win that. All right. I want to tell you about another one of our fine partners, and that would be Piazza Property Pros. Because if you want to take care of your backyard, Piazza can do it for you. 610-566-2608. Whether you want to build a pool, you want to take care of your landscaping, fencing, whatever it is, pool maintenance. Don't procrastinate. Don't procrastinate. Because if you procrastinate, you will be lost. All right. 25 years of experience. That tells you a lot. They don't subcontract. That tells you a lot. So give them a call. Piazza Property Pros can take care of a lot of things for you. Top-notch craftsmanship, unmatched customer service. It's all good. Call for a free consultation. Not everybody gives you a free consultation. 610-566-2608. 566-2608, piazzaoutdoor.com. All right. I do want to mention that as we speak tonight, November 8th, tonight on November 8th, Steve Shripper will be at Bet Rivers. It'll be a fun show with Michael Imperioli. It's just and another member of the Sopranos cast. It will be a fun show at Bet Rivers. I just wanted to give Steve a shout out. But I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that. The NBA, I mentioned that earlier. If you're just tuning in, is there anybody out there that can still watch the NBA? Can you still watch the NBA? I mean, you need to. Can you still watch the NBA? I, 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 I can't take it. I can't take it. It's so bad. But it's the NBA Cup games. It's just like, can you still watch that? It's so brutal. There was a game last night where the winner won by 40 points. The in-season tournament is a joke. Walter, I've said that. You are correct. It is an in-season joke. But wait a minute. But it looks cool, right? Because you have a different color court just to let the people know that are watching the game. This is a NBA Cup game because we changed the color of the floor. It's absolutely unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. So, all right, I'm going to give you a question. Or I had it down here somewhere. And you have had to listen to the show to know the answer to this question. Who can't spell Sixers? Somebody can't spell Sixers. I don't know. Does anybody watch the Sixers game? Anybody watch the NBA games anymore? I don't know. All right, here's the question. And it's a simple question. Simple question. When I asked Marc Lawrence who he liked in college, what was the first college team that he mentioned? The first one. We talked about a few games. What was the first college team we mentioned, or he mentioned? And if in fact you have the answer, submit it to my website, howardeskin.com. You'll win a Chickies and Pete's gift certificate. Submit it by Tuesday, November 11th. And you can watch a show and you can listen to see if you're the winner. November 12th, 7:30, live on X, Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. And subscribe to YouTube. It'll notify you when the show comes on. But we'll select a winner at random if multiple people have the correct answer. You win a Chickies and Pete's. Yeah, nice Chickies and Pete's gift certificate. You enjoy some food. Have a good time. I didn't get into. We ought to have a contest. We ought to have a contest. When is Paul George going to actually play a game and make it a multiple answer? The multiple answer would, when is Paul George going to actually play a game for the Sixers? And how many games within three? Within three, how many games within three? The total number of games do you think he'll play? Paul George is a fraud, and Joel Embiid always takes when back-to-backs. Always plays against the easier team and not the tougher team. And I had a comment from somebody that they thought the last time Chicago was a tougher team rather than Cleveland. No, they weren't. Just because the record was better, we know who the better team was. By the way, I do want to mention, and I see Larry. Larry, thanks for for putting up the message. The Flyers play today at 1. They're a slight underdog to Ottawa, but the Flyers are playing really, really good hockey. Give the Flyers some credit and give the Flyers some love. Just give the Flyers some love because they're playing really good, really, really good. Sixers play Saturday night. Like, who cares? Does anybody care? Embiid, he just cares about his points. He averages more turnovers than assists. He doesn't rebound that much. He's not really, he's not a good player anymore. He's okay, but he's not a good player. You can't win with this team. You can't win with this team. It's just, by the way, JC, he said he went back to listen to the last show, which is always available on those social media platforms, easy to find on YouTube with Ray Diddy. He loved the show. Thank you. It's just so, whatever the case, thanks for everybody that listened. I'm trying to think if there's one other thing, if there's one other question that at one point I oh yeah. There's one other thing that I want to mention. I want to find out. Give me a good reason why people buy a Sixers ticket. Now, if they buy it like 10 minutes before the game when they're like $5 on the ticket platforms, then I understand. $5. So you still have to pay for the parking. That's okay. You're still going to buy the concessions. But if you get a ticket for $5, I get it, just to take your kids out to a game. Also, I will be posting, if not already, my picks and your donation. Just remember, your donation goes to 2 really, really good SPCAs. Brandywine Valley SPCA, Providence Animal Center. Providence Animal Center had I think they had an event, or they're having an event not too long ago. They both do a great job. They both have events where you can you can adopt a dog or a cat, whatever it may be. And those pics will be posted shortly. And thanks for your donations. And one last thing, this this hoodie that I'm wearing, those are my doggies in memoriam that I've lost. A dog is a man's, woman's, it's our best friend. And never forget that. All right. Thanks to Joe Gangemi on the other side for the technical part. Thanks to Tony Anastasia for all the graphics and all the good things graphic wise on my website. And thank you for joining the show. Wednesday night, tentatively, I'm going to have Dick Vermeil on, and we'll obviously talk about the Eagles game. Have a great weekend. Support all our partners, and you'll be better off for it. Thank you. Have a great weekend and have a great week. I'll see you on Wednesday. Take care.